I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to Oklahoma City, the fans, everybody for the way that you guys welcomed me back with open arms after starting my first 2 years in the city. Uh, to the team, to Sam Presley, Billy Donovan, the training staff, everybody, man. And coming there, obviously, a lot of people try to count us out, count me out, and all I can say is I'll never forget it. Never forget it. 15 years, I've had the opportunity to play on some amazing teams, but Sam, you were straight forward with me from day one. I don't know what the future holds, but what I can say is that this team, I think I made some connections and bonds with these guys that'll last a lifetime. 2010-11, I got a chance to play with a special team. Monty Williams was the head coach that year. And, you know, you play with some guys for 1 year, 2 years, you never know, and you make connections for a lifetime. So, Oklahoma City, thank you guys. Kobe, you behind the camera, Matt, everybody that made this experience what it was. I hate that it ended as early as it did, but Oklahoma City will always have a special place in my heart. Nothing like it. And as y'all know, go Thunder, Thunder up. Peace and respect.
All right, guys. Welcome to Sports Life. It's Ryan. How's everybody today? That was Chris Paul right after the Game 7 loss the other day, which it was a great game, great series. As a Thunder fan myself, I was proud to see him go, as far as they did. I would love to see him beat the Rockets and have a chance at the Lakers like the Rockets are doing right now. But that, to me, was Chris Paul saying goodbye to Oklahoma City. I would hate to see that happen. I hope he does stick around. I'd hope he retires here, honestly. He started his career here. That would be a good place for him. The city will always love him. And it'd be sad to see him go. But he has developed some guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's got Schroeder, who's gotten playing better. Darius Baisley's going to be good. Obviously, Lou Dort is like someone that no one even heard of. He went undrafted, and all of a sudden he's this great, great player. So it would be definitely sad to see Chris Paul go. I definitely think he is by far the best point guard in the game as of today. He is the best all-around floor general in the game today. Speaking of floor generals, Steve Nash got hired as the Nets coach, which that is interesting. He doesn't have any coaching experience. He is probably the most Houdini player I've ever seen in my life. That guy can make some of the craziest passes and craziest shots. I'm glad to see Steve Nash back in the game. He belongs in basketball, that's for sure. I know he took some time off to be with his family. But Steve Nash being the Nets coach, and with a healthy Durant and Kyrie Irving, that could be a crazy, crazy matchup next year. We all know that I'm not the biggest Durant fan. I think he is very soft, but he is still a great player, and I think that is a tremendous hire. We shall see. It didn't work out so well for Jason Kidd, but we shall see with Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash is more of the basketball mind and actually kind of has a good feel for coaching already. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Now, I did mention the Game 7 with the Thunder and the Rockets. By the way, both Game 7s last week were just phenomenal. I truly believe that maybe the better teams did win. It came down to a coin flip in both games. That's just how basketball is sometimes. And that's what you want to see out of Game 7 matchups. Houston and the Thunder came down to a lot of scrappy play in the last minute. It might have been the longest 10 seconds I've ever seen in a basketball game. But overall, the Rockets played solid defense. They got the W. They did what they had to. They survived. A lot of people didn't think they could survive in a close matchup. They thought they'd have to blow Thunder away, and they survived. So, and then you turn around, and they've got one game up on the Lakers already. So maybe that Game 7 is what they needed to wake up a little bit and see if they actually really are this good. Now, the Denver Nuggets over the Jazz, I yet again, it was a coin flip game. Defensive battle. In the end, it was kind of stupid. The Nuggets trying to catch a fast break. At the end, they should have just tried to run the clock out or get fouled, but they went for a fast break. They gave Mike Conley one of the closest looking shots that could have been completely horrible for the Nuggets, but Mike Conley, it rimmed out, and I felt bad for Donovan Mitchell. That guy put it all on the table in the series. Him and Jamal Murray balled out. Could have been the best one-on-one situation I've seen in a long time. And I've enjoyed the basketball so far since the bubble's return. It's been a lot of fun. Everybody is just there to fight, and I love it. Now, I do have to talk about these LA teams here. They're supposed to be the best in the West. Well, the Clippers, Game 1, they looked like they were the best. They took out the Nuggets pretty soundly. But Game 2, it didn't go so well for the Clippers, as Kawhi only scored 13, ending his streak of, I think it was 57 or something like that, scoring at least 15 in a game, in a playoff game. And there was a lot of issues. The Clippers are distracted. Paul George does not show up in the playoffs, it doesn't seem like. Kawhi can't handle that team by himself, and it's going to be hard for them to get past the Nuggets. Jokic is playing balls out everywhere. Jamal Murray's playing balls out everywhere. Jeremy Grant knows how to play defense. It's just, they're playing good. So, yes, I actually think Denver's going to come out of that series. I think the Clippers just don't have it in them anymore. I really think that the Nuggets are figuring them out. I think they've figured out how to stop Kawhi Leonard. And yes, the series 1-1. They've only played 2 games, but I really think this is Denver series. Now, the other LA team there, the Lakers, they're down 1-0 to the Rockets, the Rockets should be tired. They just played a smash mouth basketball 7-game series with the Thunder. But yet Harden goes out, drops 37, I believe, and Russ drops 24 in game 1. And they're too fast for the Lakers. The Lakers cannot keep up with that speed. And you would think, someone with LeBron's caliber of talent, that he would figure out how to at least, get his defense back together. But he didn't score in the fourth quarter. He didn't show up that game. LeBron James was not there. And yes, I know he got a poster over Russell Westbrook. It wasn't that impressive, but if you can call a poster, he got a poster. But other than that, he didn't show up in the fourth. He had no points. Every time he touched the ball, I don't want the ball. And I'm sorry, but if you're the best in the world, you've got to want the ball in the fourth quarter, especially when it matters most. And LeBron never does. So all that talent around him, and they're in trouble. I know it's game 1. I know I said that against the Blazers. But here we are. You got this Rockets team that just played this huge series, and all of a sudden, they're still playing really good basketball. And it's like you guys just forgot about them. We'll see. We got game 2 tonight. We will see. But I think the Lakers are in trouble. I do think they will survive this series, but I don't know if they would survive another series against the Nuggets or the Clippers. They've got to stop trying to figure these guys out and just go play basketball if they want to win. So, I'm going to flip it over to the East. I believe Toronto and Boston might be a phenomenal series. We're already tied 2-2. We've seen buzzer beaters. We've seen blowout. Like, it's just, that's a good series. And speaking of Smash Mouth basketball, you got Kyle Lowry, Kemba Walker matchup. Siakam's playing good. You've got, it's just, they're all fighting. Jason Tatum is playing some phenomenal ball. It's just crazy. You know, it's coming down to like one rebound, one turnover, one, missed free throw could be the difference in this series. And they've got to all make it count. Both sides. I think Toronto has enough firepower that they will come out of it. I think Boston will give them every single thing they can handle. But I do believe Toronto will find a way. They are the defending champs for a reason. This is their time of the year. I think they come out of the series. Now, the other series in the East, the Heat and the Bucks. Completely opposite direction of where I thought the Bucks would be at this point in time. Obviously, the break didn't do them good. They were off for 4 months, and now they just can't play basketball. They haven't looked good all bubble. They survived the first round. Yes, they won in 5 games, but they survived it. They're down 3-0. No one's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the NBA. And this is the time to say, is it Giannis? Is it the Bucks? What's going on up in Milwaukee? I know they are distracted by the world going around them, but they are in a world of trouble. And I actually think the Heat are the best team in the East right now. I think the Heat are going to take the series. I think they probably win it today. And honestly, I think it might be time for Giannis to move on from the Bucks. If he's this great, talented player as he is, he should not be on a team that's just driving him down and driving him backwards. And that's hard to say because they were the 1 seed, but they are going the wrong direction, and they've gone the wrong direction this entire bubble. They haven't been able to play together. They're too worried about the outside world, and that's just it. They're done. Sorry, see you, Bucks. See you next year. But good season, I guess. I guess we could say good season. You got the 1 seed. You made it to the second round. That's more than I can say for my team. My team wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs. So there you go. There you have it. Alright, I'm going to switch gears here. We're actually going to talk about college football finally. We had some college football yesterday, guys, and it was awesome. There was only a few games on that were kind of notable to me. Army over Middle Tennessee State. The Black Knights over here rushing for 340 rush yards, 6 TDs. And they own the time of possession, 34 minutes to 25 minutes. You can't allow any of the academies to do that. They will destroy you if they own the time of possession. And the ground game. That's the one way to stop the option is to keep the ball. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a long game. And that's what happened to Middle Tennessee State. 340 rush yards, that's quite impressive. You know what you're getting out of the academies. You know these guys can't get bigger. They have to maintain their weight. But yet, here they are. All 3 of them, all the time, are always going to be dominant if they have time of possession and control the ground game. Which, that's what they do. That's just how they survive. So, I love watching the academies. They're so much fun. I hate that I don't get to watch my team, OU, and Army go at it this year like they were supposed to, but love watching them. A lot of fun. Next game, we had SMU over Texas State. Now, there's only one reason this game is actually important. Shane Buechele, who was originally with Texas, and then he went down to SMU. If he is going to beat TCU and make a run in the American Conference and everything this year, he's going to have to play better. They only beat a Texas State Bobcat team 31-24. That's not that impressive. They could do better, and they need to do better. And a lot of it was on him. I think he had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Which, okay, that's not terrible, but he's got to be the floor leader. He's got to be the guy that goes out there and throws probably about 300 yards next week if they want a chance against TCU. I don't think it's going to happen. I think TCU will run all over them. Gary Patterson is a great coach. We all know this. And sorry to say, but SMU, I think you're going to lose next week. All right. So another game that was actually kind of impressive was Marshall versus Eastern Kentucky. Okay. Now the score was 59-0 Marshall. And the score is not what's impressive. What's impressive is Grant Wells made his college debut first half, I should say. Went 16 of 23. Had 307 yards passing. 4 touchdowns. And they were all in the first half. That is a very impressive start. Keep it up. I hope you do good. Roll Herd. See what happens. Now, Monday night, guys, we do have another college game. Labor Day, we've got BYU versus Navy. Yet again, I just said it. I love watching the academies. I'm looking forward to this one. I think Navy will probably do the same thing Army did. They'll have time of possession control, and they'll come out on top. Because these guys are fighting for our country. They're fighting for their football lives. They are fun to watch. No one stops them but them. And that's just how it is. All right. Well, we're going to keep on football here, guys. The NFL is starting up Thursday. We have Houston and the Texans. It's going to be fun. I'm ready. I love football. I'm ready for it. We need it. Deshaun Watson, though, actually got a 4-year extension, which most of the time when you get a big extension like that, it's not good for your quarterback. Usually something happens to him. I'm not saying that. I hope he does all right, especially since he doesn't have a receiver to throw to anymore. But hopefully he gets it done. Hopefully the Texans still find a way to, still be decently relevant. That division's going to be tough. The Colts are going to be tough. The Titans are going to be tough. Jaguars are going to be tough. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback. I give him a lot more credit than I used to out of college. I didn't like him when he played for Clemson, but he has definitely improved, and he's definitely a great leader. So, congrats on your extension. Hope it goes well for you. Now, in that division, someone who is going to be running after Deshaun Watson, Jadeveon Clowney. He signed with the Titans. And I don't know. I'm not big on Jadeveon Clowney. He's a decent end, but he's famous for one play that he made in college when he was at South Carolina. One play. And it was just, I don't know. He hasn't really been that impressive to me in the NFL. Maybe that'll change. But I mean, he's still a big man. I'd still fear for running from my life for him. But if I'm Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't be too worried about him. But we'll see. We'll see how that fits for him. He's back with Mike Vrabel. And we'll see if they can put together a solid defense, make a good run like they did last year again. I still think Derrick Henry is going to be the explosion that he was last year for the Titans. I think that'll be the difference in their season. But speaking of running backs, though, Adrian Peterson news. He was released from Washington the other day. They are just kind of getting rid of everybody they can right now. That's still I don't even know how to describe Washington football team right now. It is a dumpster fire, for sure. But Adrian Peterson signs with the Lions. He's back in the NFC North where he made his career. He was a Viking for a long time, but now he's a Lion. I still think he brings a lot to the table. He ran for 869 yards last year and 5 touchdowns on a team that really, really was not that good. So he can still run. He's still going to run you over. He's still a truck. And he's on a decent football team again. Let's see what happens. I think he's going to have a good year. And yes, he'll be part of a three running back team again. But I think he's due for a breakout season. He hasn't had one in a while. He's getting up there in age, but he's due for one. And I know he's not Frank Gore. He doesn't have the life of Frank Gore, I guess would be the term. I saw something the other day that Frank Gore's son plays for Southern Miss, I believe it was. And there's a chance that Frank Gore could still be playing when his son decides to play, which that would be incredible too. Frank Gore, one of the best running backs in the game, and he's still going. Just unfortunately for him, he's a Jet right now. That's the downside. But alright. That's really all I've got for football right now. We do have the UAB versus Miami game Thursday, which it could be interesting. UAB coming off a win off Central Arkansas, 45-35. I think that De'Aaron King is not the great quarterback that everybody thinks he is. I watched him play at Houston. That dude overthrows his receivers every single time, and they were like 6'8". That was the only reason they did anything special. With that being said, I think Miami is a better team, but they could be on upset alert. I would just like to point that out. The Blazers are not to be messed with. They do have a great offense, so it could be a good game to watch. Could be something fun. You got the rest of college starting up Saturday and the rest of the NFL starting up Sunday, so it's a good week. It's a great week as far as a football fan. But now I got to talk to you about hockey. There's been some crazy hockey games, too. You had the Vegas Golden Knights surviving the Canucks. You had the Islanders survive the Flyers, both in Game 7s. But now you're down to 4 teams. Dallas versus Vegas starts today. I don't know if Vegas can survive another long series. They're going to have to come in and smack Dallas in the mouth, strike first, get goals in the first period. They're going to have to get in there and just get it done. If they draw the series out like they did, I think Dallas will win. Dallas will probably take advantage of probably the fast breaks, honestly. If I was to be 100% honest, Dallas is a little bit faster, I believe. I think that Vegas is still a better team. If Vegas comes in and wins the first 2 games, Vegas is still my pick to win the Stanley Cup. So I got to stick with them. That's who I picked at the beginning. And that's who I'm staying with. Now, the Islanders, they got to go up against a Tampa Bay team who's pretty well rested. They've been sitting around kind of waiting for them after their long Game 7 with the Flyers. I think that's going to be a great series. That one could go 7. I think that the Islanders are the better team, but I think the Lightning, with them being rested, it's going to be the difference. So I think it's going to be a Tampa Bay versus Vegas Stanley Cup preview. So we'll see. Final Four is always fun. See how the pros handle it there. Okay, so I got to talk about some tennis. We got Serena Williams in the U.S. Open right now, obviously. She struggled with Sloane Stephens yesterday. She really struggled. It took her three sets, and she survived, but it was a long match. It was It was a good game. It was a good fight. I think that Serena is still one of the best athletes of my generation. She's at 23 Grand Slam titles, second all time. She's only one behind Margaret Court at 24 for all time leader. So I think, man, I really think Serena's still going to come out on top, but she's going to have to be very careful against Maria Sakkari. Maria Sakkari is number 15 in the world. She's still hanging in there. The round of 16, everything changes. Everything gets heated. Everything gets tough. So, as in college basketball, the Sweet 16, same with tennis. Sweet 16. You're going to have to fight for your life here. And we'll see. I think she'll be all right. I think she'll survive. But she's going to have to come out and win probably straight sets. Probably 2 straight sets. Because it's going to have to be pretty quick if she wants to keep this one going for her U.S. Open. Now, another lady that's out there, Jennifer Brady today, she beat Angelique Kerber in straight sets. She's the only college player left. She's in UCLA right now. I think that's impressive. If you're, Coco Gauff, who's 17 years old now, and Jennifer Brady, who's in college. If you're still that young and you're fighting all these professional athletes, good for you. That's amazing. You should have an award for just being that awesome. If you're that talented, you're taking on the pros that young. It's amazing. It truly is. You're gifted athletes for sure. All right, guys. I am going to make an upset pick, but I'm going to do it over a series, not a game. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets over the Los Angeles Clippers, and I'm going to take them in 6 games. I think the Nuggets are the better team. I think they proved it the other day, and I think it's their time. It's their year. So, go Denver. That's my upset pick. And that's about all I've got as far as sports talk today. I really, really appreciate you guys listening in. This is Sports Life. My name is Ryan. I'll be back next week. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening.